Modern boredom is weird. Have you ever wondered what ancient humans did when they were bored? Because today, boredom is treated like a minor emergency. If someone has to sit alone for 30 seconds with no phone, no music, no video, no notifications, and no tiny glowing rectangle to stare at, the brain immediately starts acting like it has been abandoned in a desert. You check your pocket. You check your other pocket. You unlock your phone for no reason. You close the app you just opened. You open another app. You stare at the home screen like maybe entertainment is hiding between the icons. And if the Wi Fi stops working, civilization briefly collapses. Which raises an interesting question. What did humans do before any of this existed? Before phones, before televisions, before books for most people, before cities, before electricity, before someone could say, I'm bored, and immediately watch a video of a raccoon stealing crisps from a garage. What did ancient humans actually do when there was nothing to do? The answer is strange, because ancient humans probably had less free time than us, but they may also have been much better at using it. Because boredom is not just empty time. Boredom is what happens when the brain wants stimulation, meaning movement, novelty, or connection, and does not immediately get it. And ancient humans had no apps to rescue them from that feeling. So they had to do something else. They had to use the world. The first thing to remember is that ancient life was not a relaxed camping trip with worse shoes. It was survival. Food had to be found. Water had to be carried. Tools had to be made. Children had to be watched. Shelter had to be repaired. Fire had to be maintained. Animals had to be avoided. Plants had to be identified. Injuries had to be dealt with. And if the weather decided to be awful, there was no heated car, no waterproof jacket from a shop, and no option to complain online about how badly the day was going. A lot of ancient life was practical. You did not get bored in the same way if you were hungry, cold, tired, or trying not to become something else's dinner. But that does not mean ancient humans were working every second. Hunter-gatherer life was not necessarily constant labor from sunrise to sunset. There were pauses, waiting, resting, recovering, sitting near fire, watching children, keeping company, hiding from bad weather, waiting for food to cook, waiting for daylight, waiting for the group to move, waiting for someone to stop explaining which berries were definitely not worth the stomach pain. So ancient humans probably did experience boredom. Not modern boredom exactly. Not there is nothing on Netflix boredom. More like the food is not ready. It is raining. My leg hurts. The group is not moving yet. The fire is doing fire things. And I have already looked at that rock. Now what? One answer is simple. They watched things. That may sound boring to us because watching the world has been badly outcompeted by watching screens. But for ancient humans, paying attention to the environment was useful. They watched animals, clouds, weather, fire, water, tracks, other people. A person staring into the distance might not have been doing nothing. They might have been noticing where birds were gathering, how wind was changing, whether animals were moving strangely, or whether one person in the group was about to do something stupid with a sharp object. Observation was entertainment, but it was also information. The world was not background, the world was the feed. And unlike our feeds, it occasionally tried to kill you. Ancient humans also probably spent a lot of time making and fixing things. Not in the romantic, everyone was a master craftsman way. More in the practical, if this tool breaks, tomorrow becomes annoying way. Stone tools had to be shaped, wood had to be worked, fibers had to be twisted, hides had to be scraped, weapons had to be repaired. Baskets, shelters, clothing, carrying straps, and fire-making materials all needed attention. A bored person with useful hands was probably very quickly turned into a working person, because there was almost always something that could be improved slightly. Sharpen this, tie that, fix this, carry that, hold this while I do the hard part. That kind of work may sound dull, but it also gives the mind something modern people often chase deliberately: focus, repetition, progress. The small satisfaction of turning raw material into something useful. Ancient humans may not have called that a hobby, but a lot of human hobbies are basically survival tasks that got comfortable. Another obvious answer is talking. Humans talk constantly. We talk when there is news. We talk when there is no news. We talk when something happened. We talk when nothing happened, but someone thinks they saw something, and that is enough. Ancient humans almost certainly filled time with conversation, gossip, jokes, warnings, arguments, teaching, complaining, planning, remembering. Conversation is one of the oldest forms of entertainment humans have. It is also one of the oldest forms of information storage. Before writing, a lot of knowledge lived in people. So talking was not just passing time. It was how you learned where water was, what plants to avoid, what animals did, where the group had been, what happened last season, and why one particular uncle should not be trusted with fire. Ancient boredom probably became social very quickly. If nothing else was happening, other people were happening. And other people have always been extremely strange. Then there were stories. This is probably one of the biggest answers. Humans are storytelling animals. If you sit a group of people around a fire long enough, someone will eventually start explaining something. Maybe a real memory, maybe a warning, maybe a myth, maybe a joke, maybe an exaggerated version of an event where they were definitely much braver than everyone remembers. Stories helped people understand danger, explain the world, teach children, remember the dead, bond the group, and make long evenings less empty. Ancient humans also played. We sometimes imagine ancient people as serious survival machines, but they were still people, and people play. Children play naturally, adults play when they get the chance, even if they pretend it is training, ritual, practice, or just seeing who can throw this rock the furthest. Ancient humans likely played chasing games, throwing games, imitation games, rough physical games, rhythm games, guessing games, and games that left no archaeological evidence because they were made of words, bodies, sticks, dirt, and temporary nonsense. Boredom plus humans often equals game. Give people a stick, a stone, a line in the dirt, and 5 minutes, and eventually someone will invent a rule. Then someone else will break it. Then the argument becomes the entertainment. There may also have been music and rhythm. Not necessarily music in the modern sense of albums, playlists, and someone saying they liked the early stuff better, but rhythm, sound, voice, and movement, clapping, chanting, singing, drumming on objects, repeating sounds, dancing, making noise because silence sometimes feels too large. Music does not require much technology. It only needs bodies, voices, time, and the strange human urge to organize sound. That means ancient boredom could easily become rhythm. And then there was art. People drew, carved, shaped, decorated, painted, arranged, and marked things long before modern entertainment existed. Cave art is the obvious example, but art was probably not limited to caves or dramatic animals on walls. People may have decorated tools, bodies, clothing, objects, shelters, or themselves. Ancient humans also probably spent time teaching and learning. A bored child is not a modern invention. Ancient children did not sit quietly like tiny wise elders appreciating nature. They were children. They ran around, asked questions, touched things, broke things, got underfoot, tried to copy adults, probably made weird noises for no reason. So a lot of empty time may have become teaching time.